The Long Way Home. German Prisoners of War after World War II. May finiten gute Nacht. The guns fell silent. Europe had stopped burning, but for millions of German soldiers, the war was not over. Entire armies, tired from battles and hardships, laid down their arms. They did not know what awaited them. The Western Allies, or the Soviet Union. Their fate depended on this. In the West, camps were overcrowded. In the United States, huge detention areas were opened. In the United Kingdom, camps like Camp 165 Watton, Eden Camp, and Culty Bragan. Hundreds of thousands of men, exhausted and hungry, harvested crops, cleared bombings, built temporary roads and bridges. The first months were chaotic. Lack of food, cold tents, disease. But gradually life became more organized. In the Soviet Union, the situation was far harsher. More than 3 million German soldiers were sent to labor camps in Siberia, the Urals, and the Donbass. Long forced marches across frozen fields, harsh winters, limited food. Mortality among prisoners was high. Even General Friedrich Paulus, who commanded the 6th Army at Stalingrad, spent almost 8 years in captivity before returning home in 1953. But among the prisoners in the West were also other notable figures. Erich von Manstein, the outstanding Wehrmacht strategist, remained in British captivity until 1949, watching as the world around slowly recovered after the war. Karl von Osten, an SS officer who had participated in repression on the Eastern Front, was interrogated by the Allies and testified against other high-ranking SS members. And Wilhelm Stumpf, adjutant to several Wehrmacht divisions, was drawn into reconstruction projects in Germany and France after his release. Life in the camps was not limited to labor. They created their own communities inside the camps. In the British camps, sports teams, newspapers, and language courses appeared. Young soldiers discussed the news and even staged theatrical performances. In one of the tents at Watton, the sound of an old trumpet could be heard, played by one of the officers on old march tunes to lift the spirit. French camps looked different. Here, prisoners worked overtime on the reconstruction of bridges, ports, and mines. But in their free time, if possible, they received visits from German clergymen and Red Cross inspectors. Diaries from that time contain entries like, "Today we received a letter from my wife. She writes about the blooming apple trees at home. I had almost forgotten what spring smells like." Reality in the Soviet Union was different. Prisoners participated in ideological programs organized by anti-fascist committees. They were obliged to publicly renounce Nazism and attend lectures on politics. Many resisted, others accepted these lessons, understanding that it was the only way to survive. The return home was long. In the West, repatriation began in 1946, and by 1949, most prisoners had returned. In the United Kingdom, the process was slower because the country still needed labor to restore agriculture and infrastructure. Soviet camps remained places of waiting and anxiety for a long time. Large transports began at the end of 1947, but thousands of German soldiers remained in detention until 1955. Only then, after negotiations by Chancellor Konrad Adenauer with Moscow, did the Soviet leadership agree to release the last large group. In October 1955, trains arrived in Friedland, where thousands of families had been waiting for their relatives after decades of separation. Many returned to a country they barely recognized. Germany was divided into East and West. Industry was destroyed. Cities devastated. Reintegration was difficult. Some tried to rebuild their careers. Others rebuilt their families. But even under these conditions, former prisoners found the strength to live, create new families, work, and write down their memories. Thus ended the era of German prisoners of war, a decade after the war, when their labor helped rebuild a devastated Europe. And for the soldiers themselves, the war continued in their hearts for many years.